哪里。可能以后也没有什么机会，所以我就厚着脸皮上来。没有你先给我看。
我好像也穿错颜色。
I thought I also have, I'm wearing the wrong color.
因为我也是很复杂的心情。
Because my feeling is also very mixed.
有一段的经文是我常常喜欢引用的。
I would like to share that I always use this Bible verse.
以弗所书第6章10到11节。
Ephesians chapter 6 verses 10 to 11.
我还有末了的话，你要靠着主，依靠他的大能大力，做刚强的人。
So that I have actually the end words so that depend on God that we can be strong.
要穿戴神所赐的全副军装。
So that you wear the whole armor of God.
就能抵挡魔鬼的诡计。
Then you can actually resist the scheme, the evil scheme of the devil.
首先，我要感谢神的呼召。
First, I would like to thank God's calling.
能够使我能够进到神的葡萄园来服侍。
So that I can actually enter into God's vineyard to serve Him.
虽然我不配，但是神却常常提醒我。
Even though I'm not worthy, but God has always reminded me.
我的恩典够你用。
Because my grace is more than enough for you.
因为我的能力是在人的软弱上显得完全。
Because my power will complete in the weaknesses of man.
有一句话这样说。
There's one sentence. There's a saying.
God doesn't call the qualified, but He qualified the call. 神没有呼召那些觉得很配得的，但是当你愿意献上的时候，他就使用你。当我侍奉到疲累的时候
When I'm so restless in my ministry,
神常常提醒我，是我呼召你。
and God has always reminded me whether this is my calling.
你不是为任何人服侍或者做工，我乃是呼召你的那一个。
And then you're not serving any people, working for other people, because I'm the one that calls you.
当我没有能力继续走下去的时候
When I'm so strengthless, I'm not able to continue my journey.
神常常提醒
God always reminds me.
我的恶是容易，我的担子是轻省。
Because my yoke is very easy, and then my burden is light.
当你觉得很难走的时候
And you feel that you struggle a lot and you can't move on.
就是你担错担子。
And then because that you have carried the wrong burden.
当你觉得你的恶很辛苦的时候
And you think that your yoke is very difficult.
你就是带错恶。
That means you put on the wrong yoke.
所以我常常告诉自己
I always remind myself.
侍奉神牧养不容易。
And to serve God and also to shepherd is indeed not easy.
但是侍奉神若是burn out，若是耗尽就不对了。
But when you serve God, then you actually burn out, then you run out of energy, then that's wrong.
因为我们有一位好的老板。
Because we have a good boss.
我们所做的每一件事情
Everything that we do,
我常常都这样说
I always say this.
不是关乎我
It is not about me.
也不是关乎你
It's not about you.
是关乎他
It is about God.
神常常提醒
God always reminds me.
就算你的会有多么难牧养
Even though how difficult that you're a member that you can't minister
就
to,
算他们绝对的反对
even though that they have actually reject you or they object against you,
你还是他们的牧师
you are still their pastor.
你还是要牧养他
You still have to shepherd them.
我想这是使我面对一些不是那样认同我的这个会友们的一个心态。
And so that this is probably the attitude that those who come against me, the attitude of members.
所以我有时候会跟那一些跟我唱反调的这样说。
So sometimes I will talk to those who against me.
你可以不喜欢我，
You can choose not to like me,
但是你喜欢不喜欢，
whether you like it or not.
我还是你的牧师，
I'm still your pastor.
所以你要学习喜欢我。
So you have to learn how to like me. 这些要自己为学了。
阿门。
神应许说，你 的日子如何，你的力量也如何。
And God says that how is your days, and means that's how your strength is.
首先，我要谢谢全体的基隆波堂的会友。
I would like to thank all all congregations of Kuala Lumpur Chinese Adventist Church.
我们都从不同的背景、不同的教育凑在一起，
We come from different backgrounds, different educational level that come together,
而我们能够一起的侍奉神，有同一个目标，
so that can serve God together because we have the same goal and purpose.
已经是不简单，
It is already not easy,
但是你们却做到。
but you have done it.
你们对教会的爱，
The love that you have given to the church
你们对教会慷慨的奉献，
and the generosity of your offerings to
你
the
们
church,
对教会的不离不弃，
and how that you never abandon the church.
是我为你们觉得荣耀，也我们的教会的荣耀。
And it is really great honor for all of you, and it's also the honor of the church.
过去我曾听一些的会友这样的介绍自己。
In the past, I've actually heard some members have introduced themselves.
我是福建堂现在的基隆波堂的40年的会友，
I'm actually the member of the ex-Hokkien Church and the present Kuala Lumpur CMC's member for the past 40 years.
我在想，福建堂、基隆波堂的会友介绍自己的时候，他们真的是以他是这间堂会的会友为荣。
And then, when the member of this church they introduce themselves, they feel very proud about being a member of this KLCMC.
有会友跟我这样说，
There was a member who told me this,
牧师是你为我洗礼，
Pastor, you baptized me.
是你为我主持婚礼，
And Pastor, you also officiate my holy matrimony.
是你为我的孩子洗礼，
And you also baptize my children.
也是你为我的母亲主持丧礼。
And then you also conduct the funeral of my late mother.
所以，身为牧师，
As a pastor,
我们常常有复杂的心情。
many times we have mixed feelings.
早上主持婚礼，
In the morning, that we conduct holy matrimony.
晚上主持丧礼，
And then at night, we have to conduct big service.
所以我们常常我们的情绪是好像过山车这样。
So many times our emotion is just like in a roller coaster.
但是也因着教会有这样不同层面的，会有不同层面的环境，
Because the church has different environment and also different level kind of members.
使我们觉得牧养是精彩的。
So that we find that it's so exciting to shepherd.
牧养从来不会苦闷，
And it is, you don't feel lonely, or boring
因
in
为
our
牧养
ministry.
都不会重复同样的东西。
Because in our ministry, that we will not repeat the same thing.
我要谢谢会友们，你们对教会的爱。
I would like to thank all the members because for your love for the church.
教会许多的事工也因着你们慷慨的奉献，使教会进行的更顺畅、更顺利。
Many ministry in the church we can run so smoothly because of your generous offering.
所以外面的其他会理公会的这一个教会，他们都会认为福建堂是很有钱的。
So therefore, other churches, Methodist church, they will think that Hokkien church is really very rich.
我说，因为福建堂的会友是很有钱，
Because I see that I have a lot of rich members in the church.
所以我继续你们鼓励，继续的慷慨。
And I want to encourage you to continue to be generous.
因着你们的爱心跟慷慨无私的奉献，
Because of your generosity and also the offerings,
我们看到教会很多的事工都能够顺利的进行。
then you can see that many ministry in the church can run smoothly.
我每一次在每一年这个这个研讨会的那一个预算案之后，我就会紧张一段的时间。
Now every year when we have our planning meeting, when we talk about the church budget, I feel very anxious for a moment
因为常常都是不符的。
because all the time is always in deficit.
我在想怎么办，
I was just thinking, what should I do?
我就很热诚的、很用心的去祷告。
Then I pray fervently.
有一次有一个知识告诉我，
There was one time that Stephen who told me this.
牧师不要这样紧张，
He said, Pastor, don't get so anxious.
每一年都不符，
Every year that even though we have deficit,
但是我们每一年都没有缺乏，
but every year we lack nothing.
所以我开始对你们有信心。
Started to have confidence in you.
今年好像不服400多千，对吗？财政。
Yeah, the treasurer just told us that we are planning also deficit for 400,000 ringgit.
所以我对你们有信心，3个月后找财政。
So that I have confidence in you. After the service, please look for treasurer.
我又在此也要谢谢知识们，
I would like to thank the LCEC.
我是能够在福建堂服侍27年，
And I can serve in Hokkien Church for 27 years
是知识们的爱戴，
because the love of the stewards,
是知识们的接纳。
because the acceptance of the stewards.
我很多东西是不能胜任的，
A lot of things I actually cannot do it,
特别是账目。
especially accounts.
你们报告那个账目多少钱，对我来说是没有印象。
When you make reports of treasury report, how much money, to me I have no impression at all.
但是我都很放心的。
But I actually can, I feel okay, no problem.
每一次我不明白，他们问我牧师可以吗？我都点头说没问题。
Every time that I don't understand, when they ask me, Pastor, is it okay to go ahead? I always nod my head and say, no problem, go ahead.
因为我们的知识当中有好多都是专家来的家政的考的，
Because among our stewards, we have a lot of professionals.
很
We have
多
just
很多教这个经理，
a lot of CEOs, a lot of managers.
不同的恩赐凑在一起，常常是很难处理事情。
When people with different gifts will come together, usually they cannot solve the problem.
但是我们我们的领袖有一个优点，就是我可以不认同你的看法，我可以跟你辩论，有时候辩到好像是要在吵架的。
But our stewards, even though they have different opinions, and it's seen that they're going to quarrel in the discussion.
但是散会后没有这件事情，
But after the meeting, they are back to normal.
大家还能够嘻嘻哈哈的拍肩膀。
They can actually pat on each other's shoulders
我
and
为
feel
着
happy
领
about
袖
it.
们有这个素质，我献上感恩，也要谢谢你。
I want to thank you all, give thanks, and because you have such values among the leaders.
因着你们有这个素质，我们就看到我们的教会就成为众教会的榜样。
Because of these values, and our church becomes the example of many churches.
我要谢谢知识们的团队的合力，
I also thank the unity of the LCEC and the stewards.
不同的恩师都很愿意的摆上时间跟摆上他们的恩师。
The different gifts that they have, they also offer themselves the time.
更重要的就是他们很尊敬主理牧师，
Very important, they really respect the pastor in charge.
以致当我们能够有这样的一个共识的时候，我们就能够同心合一的兴旺福音。
Therefore, when we have this understanding, then we can actually stay very focused and we can actually grow the gospel.
所以你有时间，你去历史廊走廊走一趟的时候，
When you have time, when you walk the history corridor, the gateway,
你就能够见证过去许多年这个基隆波堂的会友跟执事领袖们所成就的每一件事情。
then you can see in the past many years that our leaders and the stewards in the KLCMC, what they have achieved and attained.
很多时候他们说是主理牧师带的，
Many times they say that it's being led by our pastor in charge.
但是其实不是的，都是许多没有被提名的人的献上跟他们的贡献。
Actually, it's not being led by the pastor in charge, but the many people who are unnamed, their contributions.
我感恩就是常常他们很劳力的、很用心的去做完工作之后，牧师是剪彩的那一个。
And I always give thanks that every time that they work very hard and get the events, and then the pastor is the one to cut the ribbon.
我要谢谢这一些贡献的领袖们。
To thank all these leaders who have contributed.
我们办公室的同工其实扮演了很大的、很重要的角色。
And at the church office, our old colleagues, they have actually played a very important role.
我们牧师传道的这个团队的贡 献，也给这个教会很大的这个帮助。
The pastoral team in the church has also given great help to this church.
所以我要谢谢过去的牧师传道人的付出跟贡献。
I also like to thank all the past pastors for their contributions.
你们的参与，你们的贡献，上帝自己纪念。
Because of your participations and your contributions, God will remember Himself.
我在这个时候也要趁这个机会，谢谢我的师母。
I also want to take this opportunity to thank my wife.
我常常跟师母的关系是爱在心里口难开。
Relationship with him, essentially, I cannot express it because I hide it inside my heart.
终于我有这个平台开口。
I have this platform to open my mouth.
但是我不知道等下会下台吗？
I will come down from the stage.
我要谢谢我的师母过去的陪伴。
I thank my wife for accompanying me in the past.
任劳任怨，
And day and night.
不离不弃，
And they never abandon me.
陪伴我，
Accompany me.
照顾好我的家庭，
Take care of my family.
使我很放心，
So that I do not worry.
没有后顾之忧，
That I do not worry anything. I need to worry anything.
专心牧养。
So that I can focus in my shepherd and ministry.
我要谢谢他。
I would like to thank her.
我举一个例子，你就知道他对我的帮助有多大。
I'm going to give you this example that you can know that the great help that she has given me.
我有一次差不多被这个欺诈集团上当，
There was one time I almost being scammed by all the scammers.
在电话当中他说你现在正在警察局录工，在电话录工。
And then it says that you are now in the recording the statement in the police station.
我都很顺服的，我都很乖的讲出很多东西。
And then I very, very honest. I disclosed a lot of information to the other party.
但是后来你知道为什么他骗不了我这钱吗？
Do you know that why the person cannot scam my money?
他问我你有多少钱？
And he asked me, how much money do you have?
我说我不知道。
I told him I do not know.
他说你不要骗我，哪里有多少钱你不知道？
He said, you don't lie to me. How come you don't know how much money you have?
你的钱放在哪一间银行？
Where do you put? Which bank do you put the money?
我说我不知道。
I said, actually, you don't know.
他更生气了。
And he was very angry.
我就跟他说哦，你要知道，我叫我的老婆来。
I said, you want to know that? I asked my wife to come.
我老婆一拿电话，她就不能够管。
And then when she talked to the person, then he cannot pass the hurdle, the test.
一个成功的丈夫，很可能你的钱都要交代他。
Successful husband, maybe you can pass the money to your wife. 那么我看到姐妹开什么了？太对不起。
你知道我差一点娶不到她，
Very with my wife.
因为当我们在谈这个结婚的事情的时候，
We were just talking about our wedding.
她说我只有一个条件，
You just told me that I only have one condition.
我就可以嫁给你，
Then I can marry you.
就是你不做牧师。
One condition is that as long as you don't become a pastor,
我们就分手了1个礼拜，
then they broke up for 1 week.
最后她也是不做牧师的。
And then she also obeyed to become the wife of a pastor.
我也要借此要谢谢我的孩子，2个孩子，
I would also like to thank my 2 children
我2个孩子的体谅。
and also their understanding.
其实让我告诉你，做牧师不容易，做牧师的孩子更不容易。
To become a pastor is already not easy, but to become pastor's kids, they are also very difficult.
我过去会遇到很单纯的会友，
I have actually met some very pure members, innocent members.
那孩子旧衣服不能穿的，送给牧师说给你的孩子穿。
And then there are old clothing that they cannot wear and they give it to pastors and say, give it to your children.
我过去也遇到一些很单纯爱牧师的会友，
And also very innocent and also loving member.
过期的食物送给牧师，
What has been expired also presented to pastors.
因为他知道牧师有这个恩赐，赐福要给各位。
Amen.
But this gift when we take poison to the diet.
我想我们的恩赐恩膏就是这样训练起来的吧。
Amen.
Yeah, probably this is the thing that we have to train ourselves as pastors.
我的孩子都不会考到7个8个 A，
My children, they are not scholars, they won't get 7, 8 distinctions.
我为着他们不能够拿7、8个 A 感恩，
I also thank the Lord that they cannot get 7, 8 distinction.
要不然他们都读医科牧师没有钱。
Oh, then if not that they go to medic, then the pastor has got no money to give them the money in the education fund.
我想他们在许多人的眼里，牧师的孩子应该是要某一个的表现。
To many people, in their view, that pastors' kids they have this expectation.
但是他们都很孝顺，他们都很自爱，
They are very filial, they are selfless, self-disciplined.
以致他们不需要牧师担心他们在外面会是怎么。
So that the pastor need not worry what will happen to them outside.
我感谢神，我的孩子是敬畏神、爱神的孩子。
I thank the Lord that my children they fear God, they love God.
我要以他们为荣。
I want to be,
Amen.
I feel proud of them.
我要谢谢我的女婿跟媳妇 John 跟 Luann，
And also to thank my son-in-law, Sean and Gwen, my daughter-in-law.
他们敢娶牧师的女儿，嫁牧师的孩子，已经是很勇敢。
They're very brave because they marry pastors' kids.
但是他们却能够保持一个基督化的家庭，这是使我最感恩。
They could maintain a Christian family. I really give thanks for that.
我要谢谢我唯一疼爱的孙儿 Ryan。
I also want to thank Ryan, my only grandson.
Ryan 常常带给家庭欢笑，
And Ryan has actually brought a lot of joy to the family.
他是我唯一的解药。
This is the one that I release my tension.
Ryan, you always make my day。
I said, Ryan, 你是让那个公公很开心。
Thank you, Ryan。
谢谢。
最后一件心里的话，
This is the last that I want to express from my heart.
我放在我心中40多年都没有机会讲。
I've never had any opportunity to talk about this. I put it in my heart for the past 40 years.
也没有资格讲，
I also have not worthy or not qualified to say this.
但是今天我有资格讲。
And today I think I'm qualified to say this.
当我告诉我父母我要去读神学的时候，
When I told my parents I want to study theology,
我要做传道的，
I want to be a pastor,
我的父母很严肃的看着我。
my parents, they were very serious. They stared at me.
那天晚上，我母亲就叫我来训话。
And that night my mother actually called me up and then lectured.
她说：“我给你一个提醒，也给你一个忠告。
And I give you one advice and also one warning.
你要三思，
You have to think carefully.
做传道人不是你想象的那样简单。
It's not so easy as you can imagine to be a pastor.
你太年轻了，
You're just too young.
你不知道做牧师的代价是什么。
You do not know the price that you have to pay as a pastor.
你知道做牧师是吃力不讨好的路吗？
You don't know that being a pastor is something that is so difficult to do.
我
Difficult
妈妈
task.
说，若你不想打工，你可以借我的生意。
My mother said that if you don't like to work for other people, then you can take over my business.
但是若你选择走这一条路，
But you have chosen to walk this way, the path.
是你选择的，
This is what you have chosen.
千万不要半途而废，
Never give up halfway.
再苦也要走下去，
How difficult, you still continue to press on.
再苦你也要走完。
How suffering that you can be, you need to finish the race.
所以我为什么说我今天才有资格讲这句话？
That's why I say that only today that I am qualified to say this.
我今天要跟我在天上的妈妈坐在天堂上，看着我在饮食的时候。
I would like to talk to my mother, who is actually in heaven watching me.
我要跟我妈妈说，妈，我做到了。
I want to tell my mother that I did this.
所以今天的奖品是给我妈妈，也给我一家，给我的孩子，给我太太。
And the prizes actually I want to honor to my late mother and also my family, my children and my wife.
最后我要这样说，
Lastly, I would like to say this.
做牧师是没有退休，
As a pastor, there's no retirement.
我们只是换跑道。
We have actually changed our path.
我不是 retire， 我是 revive。
Amen.
我不是退休，我是有烈火充满的。
Yes.
我最后再做了一次的提醒，
I would like to give this last reminder.
无论是做牧师、
No matter whether you're a pastor,
做领袖、
a leader,
做会员，
or member,
我们所做的每一件事情，
everything that we are doing,
不关乎我，也不是关乎你，而是关乎他。
it's not about me, it's not about you, but it's all about God.
说我为什么说我一生一世要张扬他的，住在他的圣殿，张扬他的荣耀。
And therefore, how I want to be the temple and the sanctuary, I would like to give all the honors to Him.
愿一切的荣耀归于上帝的真神。
I want to give all glory to our Trinity God, Triune God.
若你问我有机会再来，你会选择做牧师？
And then you ask me again if there's another opportunity where you choose to become a pastor.
我说我不会，
不会。
不会。
No, I won't.
若你问我后悔做牧师吗？
You ask me whether I regret being a pastor.
我说我没有后悔，
There's no regret.
因为在牧养的过程当中，虽然路难走，但是恩典比辛苦更丰满。
And then even though in the journey, the path is very difficult, but actually it is abundant blessings because of the grace.
我的声音不够好，
My voice is not that good,
要不然我会唱奇恩典。
so I will sing Amazing Grace.
愿神继续的祝福大家。
May God continue to bless everyone.
好多人问我，牧师，你退休的 unfinished business 还没有做完的是什么？
A lot of people ask me, what is your unfinished business?
我今天要处理其中的一个 unfinished business。
I would like to deal with one of the many unfinished business.
我们知道在教会许多的服侍的岗位，大家都很熟悉，
Everyone is very familiar with the position that you are serving.
但是有一个事工或者很重要的事工是我们没有注意的，
There's one ministry, very important ministry that we never pay attention.
就是代表基隆波堂成为尊孔的董事。
And that is to represent the church and become the member of the board of governor in the Confucian Private School.
同样的，这一个服饰是要付代价，
And this serving, you need to pay a price.
所以我退休之前，我要跟张守业夫妇说，谢谢你过去整10多年都代表了福建堂成为尊孔的董事。
I would like to, before I retire, I would like to thank our Dato' and Datin Chang and say that you represented CMC to become the board member of the Confucian Private School.
因为要很懂事的人才能够做董事。
You need to be
感谢请邀请要做张守业夫妇进前来。
来 invite both parties.